call upon the member of government to present their case. Here. Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Your hand.
a friend of mine loves her ex so much that even if he abuses her physically and also verbally, all she said to me is like, it's okay, he'll change. It's okay, that's not what he really is. That's the kind of unconditional love that we're talking here. And here, CG is the only thing that can give you the accurate depiction on what is actually unconditional love and why it brings more harm than good in this debate. Now, before I'm moving to my arguments, some rebuttals will be integrated to my arguments. I'll first bring you 3 points of rebuttals toward the previous speakers before me. First rebuttal regarding the characterization of unconditional love coming from the OO. They say to you that the kind of sacrifices that you make can be chosen, as long as it doesn't risk your safety, as long as it doesn't risk your health, and so on and so forth, and the list goes on. It means that from the very first beginning, you have a condition in which you can practice your love. That is not unconditional love at all. They even claim to you that you can always opt out of love the moment that it hurts you. The thing is that they haven't given you sufficient explanation why someone, even if they are being irrational because of unconditional love that they have, they can still opt out the way of the risk that they can happen to them. Because the moment that you love someone unconditionally, it makes you unable to weigh out the option that you have, right? It means that you cannot measure the kind of harm that may happen to you. It means that you may not be able to choose whether you can opt out of the relationship or whatsoever. That's why, for the characterization of unconditional love, we believe that OO is out of this debate. On the second rebuttal, because they keep on saying about how in our world people will love for look, people will love for money, for example. We believe if that's the case, in our world, it is still okay. Why? Because first of all, love grows. Even if at the first time you love that person, for example, because you love her look, because she is pretty and beautiful, the moment when you have a relationship with her, that's the moment that you find out about that person, right? Because even if that person is beautiful, when she, for example, she supports Trump and you support Hillary, for example, you will realize that this girl is not the one for you, right? That's why we believe that yes, even if people look for a look at the first time, even if people look for money, that is still okay because that makes them happy, and and people will still grow their love eventually. That's why we believe that that when you become used to this person, it will still be okay. But third of all, we believe that even if they say about how our love is temporary, but how, for example, if we go into a relationship and we will easily break up because we face a problem or something, but how our happiness is not lasting longer than them, we believe that that's not true. Because first of all, we believe that even if, for example, in our world, people live in conditional, because, for example, if I don't like this person, I will break up with him easily, that is still okay. Because there's a journey of mine on how to find a person that will make me happy, right? If I don't feel I'm happy when I'm with him, that's totally okay to break up and find someone else that will give us each other mutual happiness. That's completely fine, and that doesn't mean that our love is temporary. That just means that we have not found the right person to have a life with. And also, their happiness is more temporary. Because even if you feel happy when you sacrifice for this particular person, the moment when this particular person betrays you and maybe hurt you in the future, that happiness will leave you. That's why we believe that the happiness that exists in their place is temporary to begin with. Even if they can also say to you that people can move on. But first of all, when you have such a unconditional love for someone, you will bring those stars in your life. You will be so traumatized, which I will explain more in my speech later. Now, since I have given all the rebuttals, I will come to my argumentations. The opponent government has given you sufficient explanation on why you will be miserable in unconditional love. But here was exclusive in CG. We say that unconditional love comes with the expense of sacrifice and even one's happiness. Because it is irrational. It drives you to provide your best for the person that you love. Anything that you are. Not only your time and money, but also your health, your safety, and so on and so far, right? Because for example, if I'm a mother and I have a son that is like a rascal, he do drug dealing, for example. If I'm a mother with unconditional love for my son, it means that I will still work hard for him to get him out of jail, to give him all the money that she needs, regardless of how he will use that money, even if he will leave me, even if he will not care about my well-being, right? What's the real harm of that? The moment when you love someone and you become very, very hurt with that person, it will shut you down. It will make you be disappointed of the world. It will make you see that there's no other love aside from this love. What is the harm of this? It means that you will be unable to find someone who will truly make you happy because you think that the kind of love for you is only one in this world, right? Because you are too stuck in the idea of having that true love until you're unable to find that true love for you. This will make people get shut down more. This will cause depression, and people will get unable to go over this. That's why you see that is even more harmful, right? But even in our world, let's deal with their best case scenario, for example, because when the unconditional love is not toxic, because they claim to you that unconditional love will not always bring you hurt or whatsoever. Let's take an example where the unconditional love is not toxic. For example, like when I love my mother because she is my mother. We believe that the scenario will still be better in our scenario. Why? Because, for example, when you love your parents because they encourage you, because they give you motivational words, instead of because they are merely your parents, you will be driven more to make them happy, right? You will be driven more to please them, for example, because they have encouraged you. You will do better because this time you want to make them happy, not because they are merely your parents, but because they have sacrificed their time for you, to nurture you. They have given you their money to send you to a good school. You'll be driven more to make them happy, and this kind of happiness is more mutual and even more better because now this time you'll be driven to give the same love, not because only they are your parents. That's why we believe that even in their best case scenario, when the unconditional love is not toxic, the scenario will still be better under our world where we opt out the condition of love itself. But even more than that, we believe that, like what I've said before, the real harm will happen under their world when someone, for example, when somebody is hurt and leave you, you will be more likely to get traumatized and not trust people, right? Yeah, that's why for those reasons we are proud to propose.
Thank you, member of government. In the case for the closing opposition, we call the member of opposition. Here.
So I'm going to talk about some rebuttals. So just like a small rebuttal. OG talks about why expectations are bad. But I just like to clarify that if you love someone, then if you love someone unconditionally, you will have no expectations. So that argument is not really relevant. Both OG and CG talk a lot about toxic relationships and abusive relationships. Actually, we like to accept it as abuse. So we accept that there are toxic relationships and like abusive relationships with like unconditional love. We accept that but we also have to recognize that there's already a narrative that like abuse is bad. And like people in these relationships, right? Like CJ comes and tells us that they're like irrational. But we think that like that's like very demeaning to them because we like to characterize them as being like not irrational, like they have brains. And they recognize that they have two choices. They can choose to stay like this abusive relationship, or they can choose themselves. And like the very fact that they choose abuse and like it gives them happiness, we sort of accept that, and we're okay with that because what this does is like this gives them the power to like power through like these situations that they might not be able to leave like immediately. So like what does this look like, right? So like in like developing countries where like women are like forced to stay with like their abusive husbands, like because of like societal expectations, maybe their parents place those restrictions upon them. We say that like this unconditional love, maybe not for the partner, but like for their kids, allow them to like power through like these really, really difficult situations, which if they leave might not just cause harm to themselves, simply because like men have positions of power, may physically be able to cause harm, but like may also harm their kids. So what we are saying is wrong for you to say that like that choice, that like it's wrong for you to say that her choice in staying in like these abusive relationships is wrong on the basis of choice feminism, for example, because like the very fact that they are choosing to do so, is that like we recognize that like they have the agency to do so, and we say that's fine. Secondly, like they take like on a very narrow sort of context and like view of like the whole debate. They keep talking about like, abusive relationships. We like to talk about it like the modern context as well. So like what does like this impact of like of unconditional love look like in like modern context, right? Like when you give unconditionally, right, you cultivate that sort of like giving nature. So like you become more selfless. So like what this does, so like what I'm going to do is elaborate like on the impact of this on yourself, which is like helps love reach and like the concept of love itself. So like what this does is help love reach like greater quality and also like a greater reach. So like in their world, like the very nature of love will be corrupted, like I'll talk about why later. So today, like people are selfish and like prioritize self-interest a lot. So like they tend to live like hedonistic lifestyles. It's all about like me. They don't realize like the joy of giving. So like I think like we all recognize like the joy of giving like in micro experiences like every day. So like when we give like a present to like a birthday present, like it hurts our wallet, yeah. Like it's bad for our finances like objectively. But it gives us like that amount of small pleasure. Same reason as to why like people do like charity. So like sure, giving might like cause you hurt in like other areas, but like it also gives you happiness. So like what this happiness does is like ensure that you know that you're doing the right thing. So it like gives you like security in like your relationship. So what this security does for yourself is like ensure that like ensure that like the sort of vicious cycle that we see in like everyday romantic relationships does not happen. So like when people like tend to prioritize me, they don't see like the joy in like giving to others. And because of that, they tend to like leave like relationships quickly lah. So like this sort of creates like insecurity for the future. So like for every subsequent like romantic relationship you have thereafter, you become just a little bit more guarded. And we say this makes love less joyful each time. Because you are scared to love, and like it denies the people the joy of loving again, and it corrupts like the very nature of love lah. So that's why we think about like that's what we have to say about the impact of selflessness. Secondly, like we'd like to talk about like why when you do unconditional love, love no longer becomes becomes just a two-way relationship. So I mentioned this earlier in my example about like developing countries, but I like to expand more like why this is better for other relationships in your life, i.e. familial relationships, friendships, and stuff like that. So when you become like when you cultivate a sort of giving nature, right, you sort of learn to put your pride across like more. So what this does is like make you more negotiable. It makes you less stubborn and sort of like makes like these negative characteristics like less. We can see this every day, like just like with our friends and stuff. Like when we see when they get into like relationships, we just see them like become better people. And like because of this, people tend to get like more open-minded, and like this open-mindedness is like a transferable skill, right? So like it's like better for other people, and this manifests into like relationships with your mom and dad when you're better able to converse, better able to empathize, and like because humans are like innately social, and like we want to like become better in social relationships, when we're able to communicate better and stronger, like we see would like to live in this sort of world. Thirdly, just like in a practical sense, right? Like in modern context, like what like unconditional love does. I just like to talk about like why two is better than one love. Just in the context of like romantic relationships, because they also want to keep talking about romantic relationships, right? So like when you have this narrative like of unconditional love, you would want to stick together through everything, and when like this sort of sticking together sort of results in like offhand benefits, such as like for especially for like couples who are like financially struggling in like today's like landscape and stuff. Like it's just easier for couples to enjoy practical benefits such as like getting HDBs, like in Singapore, for example. It's just easier for you to get housing. It's easier for you to like split the cost of food, like you buy groceries, like more groceries. But that's sort of like a really secondary point. And like what like the whole parts of CEO would like to say is that like sure, we accept that it's abuse, but like if it gives them happiness, like we can't judge that. And also like it does has spin-off effects, and it's better for love as a concept itself. Thank you.
Thank you, member of opposition. To conclude the case of the government, let's have government. Just because we live in the world where the notion of love comes at the expense of other sufferings and happiness. Why can't I love someone without sacrificing or without being breaking at the end of the day? And why can't I love someone without compromising my happiness and my need and my happiness in the end of the day? A few couple of argument without really fitting my speech. Firstly, coming from the side seeking, they say that by having unconditional love, we make better world. We make better ourselves. We have to think about the children who is going to be left out in the developing world when woman is going to not sacrifice in the unconditional love. But that all come up with sacrificing oneself to get that of it, not getting any benefit, right? Like and the benefit. Or they say that yeah, it would create a better world by sacrificing someone. The question that we have to ask today is why we have to sacrifice someone in order to be getting love, or why we have to make them suffer, right? Moving on, that's the rebuttal for CD. Moving on, I have a couple of like issues based on the OO. So what OO say in fact? OO say that firstly, unconditional love will make you move forward. My speaker already told you how unconditional love will not move forward. Because firstly, why? It creates a scar in your life. It make you not really moving forward because that scar will drag you down to the life. For example, right, if I'm in the not even in not abusive love or not even in the normal relationship, and I give my love all to someone, and that someone never compromises with my love, they won't give the same love as you love someone. And when you move out from that love, you know that you cannot trust anyone. Cannot trust someone anymore. That is a scar that it brings in the unconditional love, and it is harmful. Why? It make you sad. It make you like not safe with yourself, you're gonna move on and stuff, those kind of harms that bring. And secondly, it makes you ignorant. What is humanity ignorant? We always receive love without knowing that how much we have to also give love. We know unconditional love means that you are giving something without knowing that what are you getting, right? So what is harm there? It makes you ignorant people. It makes you never notice that what other people are suffering in order for them to love you so much, right? For example, I never know why my parents has been suffer or why my parents have been sacrificing in order what happiness they are sacrificing in order to make me happy, in order to come and stand in relationship. Those are the kind of harms that it create, and it itself make ignoring people different. And secondly, they say that they're gonna have also love and support on their side, so they have happiness. We say that okay, we agree to the extent that happiness happen in both sides. However, happiness happen in our side can't wait without maximizing your compromises. Right? Happiness happen on their side, happen for a short term. Short terms where you get the benefit. For example, where you think that I'm loving that person so much. The point where you move on that point, the point where that person left you, you notice that you have no happiness. You have no happiness at all. What you get is regret. And that regret is kind of the start that we talk about, CD talk about in the way is so moving on, CD say that, as I mentioned before, CD say that on that side because a woman can leave the developing, woman can leave the house, but if they sacrifice children, we say that that's the problems with the CD. CD finally mainly point out why this love kind of unconditional love is so harmful, right? Because it's discriminated women mostly, right? Because in the war developed in the conservative war where the men are usually over patriarchal, and they try to make women have to suffer more. Women have to sacrifice more if you are in the unconditional love. CO especially point out those are being bigger, right? And secondly, on the say they say that we need for the betterment of our world, in order to get peace, in order to get something, we need someone to love us. We need someone to support us. I would say that in our side we get support more or we get love more. Why? Because firstly we know what kind of love we are getting from someone, right? With conditional love, we know what kind of support I be getting from the love someone. For example, if I say that I get it into relationship because of I want something necessary, for example, as they say materialist like money and stuff, I know I'm getting out money from that love, or I'm getting the support and the support what my support is money from that love. So it means that I already know what I'm getting from that relationship. I think that's the difference between side city and city. Without that, yes.
On our side, love is continuous and it is usually more long lasting. On your side, it is short term and there's so much more. Tell me how there's going to be continuous happiness and less heartbreak on your side and our side.
Well, if I know that I'm going to pop up in me or I'm going to love in someone with necessary, the point where I don't get those necessary, I will easily move on. Right? On your side, rather than you say that they cannot continually love someone, that is not the unconditional love itself. Firstly, it is not. Even if it is not, what is great is that it brings scars with you on the side, right? Because you don't expect, that someone will treat you badly in your relationship, or someone to treat you badly in your relationship, right? So when that happens, that brings scars, and that scar is harmful enough to continue that relationship. When they continue, that scar bring you down and make you not feeling maximize happiness, right? Rather than on our side, we know that, for example, if I'm going into this relationship, I'm getting this. To the point where I don't get it, I will go out and I will go into another relationship and do that. So it creates at least protect ourselves. Like, why do we need this kind of safety or this kind of security, right? So we say that we need this kind of security because at the end of the day, what we need is love, security for ourselves in order to be self-actualized or self-improvement. Right? On our side, we say that more people are going to be happy with the notion of love. Love is conditional. You can pop up in love without being suffer and happiness. On their side, what they make is that far worse is firstly they say that love is conditional, and you have to sacrifice yourself. So the best case scenario of citing love is unconditional, and you can push through the limit. On the worst case scenario, of our side, they say that people will be materialistic and stuff. We say that even in that case it's okay because at least we get the benefit that individual is happy and individual is not suffering because of love. On the best case scenario of ourselves, they say that the individual will never push through their limits, and outcome is that they cannot control the outcome of the love. They cannot control the suffering of the love. On our side, we can control this happiness from Allah. As I mentioned before, if I have to love someone, why can I love someone without being compromised with our need, with my love, or with my, the amount of love that I give, and the amount of happiness that I'm going to get? That out.
Tidy up the gap with. To conclude the debate, let's have the up with. Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you for that.
On side closing opposition, we believe that it is better to have loved and lost than to never have loved before. So Gulf's side told you that, oh, the concept of unconditional love makes people enter into toxic relationships. We told you that it's okay, we think it's okay. If people want to enter into toxic relationships, if they want to enter abusive relationships, they are able to access the risks for themselves, and they are able to think, if they believe that, oh, this gives them the most happiness, then we think that they have every right to be in this relationship. So some quick rebuttals is that they told you that, that on their side, people will lose happiness if their partner leaves them. But we think that that's not a harm that is unique to their side. In any relationship, if your partner leaves you, you will lose happiness. So what we told you instead is that if you had on our side the concept of unconditional love, actually it leads to more security and benefits, and parties of a relationship will benefit more from having people believe in unconditional love. And we also told you how it leads to better relationships with people outside of your relationship with your partner or with your lover. So like what we told you, like what distinguished us from OG was that OG mentioned how unconditional love lets you enter into interracial relationships. But we think that what distinguishes us from them is that we don't just tell you about how it makes them enter into different types of relationships. We tell you how it benefits the quality of relationships, like for all types of relationships. So we told you that, it actually leads to more selflessness and more joy, because like when you believe in unconditional love, you're more willing to give, you're more willing to make sacrifices. And we think that this will lead to more happiness. So like for example, like when we debate every single week, right, we commit so much time and effort and we sacrifice so much for debate, and then we end up feeling more of a sense of belonging to the debate contingency. So in that sense, we believe that when you receive more and you give more, like you do attain like some greater happiness from like being willing to sacrifice more. And I think that the person on the receiving end also like feels a lot more security, and they benefit so much more from like love. It distinguishes love from, they actually get to experience love, because like it makes love like something more unique than like all the other kind of relationships that you experience on a day-to-day basis. Because like this is like where you actually feel like more security, because you feel like you're worth loving, that like this person is willing to make sacrifices for you. And that's like when you get like more esteem and you have like more trust and security in yourself. Like you actually believe in like yourself and you're more willing to enter into relationships. So we think that it doesn't just benefit the person who's giving, it also benefits the one who is receiving. So we also told you how yes?
Child was sexually groomed. You still support this toxic relationship?
What?
A child is sexually groomed. Do you still support this toxic relationship?
So like we said, right, we think that like it's okay, like as long if the child is suffering, if the child is sexually abused, and if the child like actually wants to be in that relationship, we really think that it is okay. Like as long as like we don't think there's any harm in that, right? Like if the child is able to like like, cause like we do have that kind of narrative in society. We do tell them that, oh, it's not bad, it is a toxic relationship. But then like, if the child still decides to be in that relationship, who are we to judge? In fact, right, like if the person like is in that kind of situation, we think that the narrative of unconditional love, right, actually empowers them to go through like whatever hardships that they are in that situation. So like we think it actually benefits their esteem like more than like if there isn't such narratives, like, and if you like criticize their choices. So like yeah, so moving on to my second point, no thank you. So like moving on to the second extension, right, is that like it actually leads to better relationships with other people outside of that relationship. Because like when you are in a relationship, like and you believe in unconditional love, like instead of running away when you experience conflicts with your partner, you actually like think about the flaws and like try to review the flaws. So like if you have a conflict with your partner, like your partner wants to like eat carrot cake every single day and you're really sick of that food, but then like you take a step instead of like just simply breaking up. And then like that's a problem that we see in society today, when like people are so hedonistic and then they just like when they focus too much on themselves, right? Like I think that it forces people to take a step back and then like review their flaws and like actually like understand, like be more empathetic and like understand like where that point of view comes from. Like it might not, it might just be a conflict, like it might not actually be like a flaw in that person's character, but then like actually when you take a step back and like review that, you are more optimistic and like you are more open-minded and like you are able to like set aside your pride and you are able to actually like try to resolve differences. And we think that it makes you better at resolving differences and like that and you are more resilient, and it actually like benefits you in your other relationships as well, and like you learn to connect better with people. So like on our side, like we have told you that like how unconditional love like makes people take a leap of faith into like relationships, like they are willing to sacrifice more, and like how it actually benefits them because like they are more selfless and like they sacrifice more and they feel more secure. It increases their esteem and it also betters their relationships with people outside of that particular relationship. And like on our side, we also respect people's choices. Like we think that if people do feel more happiness from giving that kind of unconditional love, then like we totally accept that and we're totally okay with that. So like for all that, I'm proud to oppose. Thank you.
Thank all teams for today. Cross the floor, shake hands, and go outside. I think go outside and go for lunch.
Yes.